He trusted her completely, until a single text shattered everything. Now, betrayal, lies, and a hidden lover threatened to destroy the life he thought was theirs. The couch reeked of stale coffee and regret. Its worn fabric pressed into my back as I lay staring at the ceiling fan spinning lazily above. It was 2:17 a.m., and the living room was cloaked in silence, broken only by the faint, constant hum of the refrigerator. Upstairs, Clara slept in our bed, the same bed that hadn't felt like ours in months. Her words from earlier echoed in my mind. "If you can't trust me, Michael, sleep down here. Trust." The word felt like a razor, sharp and slippery, cutting deeper each time I replayed it. At the time, I had no idea trust could be so fragile, like a house of cards teetering, and hers had already begun to collapse. The fight had ignited after dinner, triggered by a text that had lit up her phone as we cleared the dishes. She snatched it away too quickly, laughing too brightly, offering a flimsy excuse about a work group chat. But my eyes had caught the name on the screen, Elliot. Not a coworker I knew, not a friend I recognized, just a name creeping silently into our lives like mold. Mentioned casually, waved off, yet always lingering. When I asked who he was, her gaze flicked away, and her voice sharpened. "You're imagining things," she snapped, slamming a plate into the sink. "Sleep on the couch if you're going to act like this." So there I was, exiled to the living room, my heart heavy with doubt, wondering when the woman I loved had become a stranger. Morning offered no clarity. The kitchen smelled of burnt toast. Clara was already dressed, heels clicking against the hardwood as she poured coffee into a travel mug. "I'm late," she muttered, avoiding my gaze. Her perfumed jasmine lingered in the air like a ghost, sharp and sweet. I wanted to grab her wrist, demand answers, but the words stuck. Instead, I managed to whisper, "We need to talk tonight." She nodded lightly and was gone, the door slamming behind her, leaving a hollow echo in my chest. I worked from home that day. My laptop opened to spreadsheets I couldn't focus on. My mind kept replaying the past months. Clara's late nights at the office, her phone always face down, her sudden craving for space. Tiny inconsistencies that seemed innocuous, until they weren't. On a whim, I scrolled through our shared cloud photos, something I hadn't done in years. There she was, smiling at a company retreat, arm around a man I didn't recognize, tall, broad-shouldered, his hand resting too comfortably on her waist. The caption read, "Team bonding," but the unguarded look in her eyes struck me like a blow. I zoomed in, searching for evidence, hating myself for it. Was this Elliot, or was I losing my mind? By evening, the house felt stifling. Clara returned at 9, her cheeks flushed, hair slightly tousled. "Long day," she said, shrugging off her shoes. I stood in the doorway, arms crossed, pulse pounding. "Who's Elliot?" I asked, keeping my voice low. Her shoulders stiffened, and for a moment, her eyes betrayed her before narrowing into defiance. "He's from work," she said. "Why are you doing this?" My tone was quiet but firm. Her voice sharpened, though a tremor betrayed her, a crack in her facade. "I told you, he's just a friend." I stepped closer, lowering my voice. "Because you're hiding something." The confrontation that followed was a storm, accusations and denials swirling around us. She called me controlling. I called her distant. She insisted Elliot was nothing, but her words felt rehearsed, her gestures too polished. When I mentioned the photo, her face paled, stammering, "It's not what you think." But she couldn't explain what it was. The silence that followed was thick with unspoken truths, and I felt our foundation crumble beneath me. "I need air," I muttered, grabbing my keys and leaving her trembling in the kitchen. I drove aimlessly, city lights smearing past the windshield. Memories spun through my mind, her laugh on our wedding day, the way she'd curl into me during storms, promises exchanged with solemn sincerity. Had it all been lies, or had I missed the signs? Stopping at a gas station, I checked my phone. A notification from our shared account showed a hotel charge, 2 weeks prior, in a city she'd never mentioned visiting. My stomach twisted. I called her. No answer. I texted, "We're done unless you tell me the truth." No reply. Returning home, the house was dark, yet Clara was awake, sitting on the couch, tears streaking her face. "I didn't want this," she whispered. My heart wanted to forgive, but my anger was a live wire. "Didn't want what?" I asked, voice cold. She met my gaze, raw and vulnerable. "I made a mistake." The words hung between us, heavy and undeniable. She confessed to Elliot, her co-worker, her confidant, her error. One late-night drink after a project, one moment of weakness, a line crossed. "It was only once," she said, voice breaking. "I love you, Michael. I swear it." But love felt foreign now. I remained silent, thinking of the hotel charge, the long nights, the mounting lies. "Then why hide it?" My voice rose. "Why lie?" She had no answer, only sobs, each one a nail in the coffin of our marriage. I wanted to scream, to forgive, to rewind time, but the wound was too deep. "I can't do this," I whispered, pulling out the divorce papers I'd printed weeks before. I slid them across the table. "Sign." Clara's hands trembled as she reached for them. "Please," she pleaded. "We can fix this." But her words were hollow, drowned by the betrayal that had taken root. I didn't trust her tears, her promises. "Sign," I repeated, voice firm despite the ache in my chest. She hesitated, searching for the man who had once loved her unconditionally. That man was gone, buried under months of suspicion and pain. With a shaking hand, she signed, a jagged scar on the page. She left that night, suitcase wheels scraping across the driveway, disappearing into the darkness. The house fell silent again, but it was not peaceful. It was the silence of something broken beyond repair. I sat on the couch, the papers in my hand, feeling only loss. Then my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "You deserve better." "I'm sorry." Attached was a photo. Clara and Elliot laughing in a hotel bar, time-stamped just 2 nights ago. This was no mistake. It was a choice. I stared at it, chest tight with grief and rage. The ceiling fan above spun on, indifferent, as I realized the truth. This was not merely betrayal, it was theft. She had stolen my trust, my love, my future. And yet, as I sat alone amidst the wreckage, a thought surfaced. Had I failed her too? Had I missed the signs, not of her cheating, but of her unhappiness? The question hung in the air, unanswered, as the night stretched cold and unyielding.